All right, I thought for this one we could do TARDIS interiors.
Oh, that's my favorite because I love the TARDIS. Oh my god.
Oh, the
Let's
TARDIS is
go.
great.
Oh
Um,
man.
okay, so
Right, I have a strong favorite for this.
what could it
And least
possibly
favorite
be?
actually.
What is
I
your
think we've got the
favorite
exact same.
TARDIS,
The-
Tharies?
It's the TV movie one, Jay.
What? So is
Yes.
mine.
Yeah. It's
Well,
epic.
I've got to give it a joint first with the Capaldi one.
See, I that's slightly behind it for me, but I get what you mean.
The
Fair
Capaldi
enough.
one proves to me just the amount of significant. I just jammed a screwdriver into my hand for no reason.
But
I
as in like a normal one.
Yeah, I've just got a screwdriver in my hand at the moment.
Hey guys, look, we came prepared.
I was just holding it against my hand and just sort of fidgeting with it, jammed it into my skin and was like, "Oh, I didn't need to do that.
Kids, this is a really important lesson.
I have
Don't try and
ADHD."
I mean, I was gonna go with don't try and use a screwdriver as a sonic screwdriver or something like that, but no, that works too.
Just don't jam it into your skin, I think is the lesson.
Mm, yeah, you're probably right.
The Capaldi TARDIS proves to me the huge amount of change just minor differences can make. Because I
True.
don't rate it at all when it was Matt Smith's TARDIS and it was blue and it was sort of barren. But when they made it, when they put Peter Capaldi in it, they changed it for orange lights, which made it feel nice and warm, and they put furniture in it like he lived in there, and it's like, oh, it's gorgeous now.
Yeah, I
Just
think
very
that's
minor
actually
changes.
that's something that I really value in TARDISes is when they feel like lived in.
Yeah.
Like it feels like people occupy them. Um, and like that's something I love about the movie TARDIS is that that is something that someone lives in. Like it just is. Like that is something
Yeah.
that I can see someone just chilling out in for ages. Especially like like the Doctor. It just but like the Capaldi TARDIS definitely has that as well. It's definitely the best of New Who in terms of like the Capaldi TARDIS definitely is. Like there's not even a remote competition. I mean, I have a soft spot for Matt Smith's one. As I predictably would if anyone's watched the previous ones where I basically said that the 11th Doctor great. But I think like just on a pure design level, the Capaldi one is just it is chef's kiss.
It is.
But the movie one though, it's just it's kind of what I said about the Eighth Doctor's costume as well. It does feel like a time machine.
I think I have a preference for the movie one, but just critically, if I was going to analyze the designs, I think I would probably. I have more criticisms, I guess, of the movie one. I don't have anything to be critical of the Capaldi one for.
Fair enough. I'm guessing your criticisms of the movie one are like, why are there bats in it? Or like,
It feels a bit over designed to me. It's like everything was very clearly, deliberately placed to look like what it is. It's full of about 1 million candles, and it feels a lot more like a set, as well as
maybe
also
he
just feeling kind of like
romantic candlelit dinners.
maybe he does on his own.
On his own. He's just sat there like listening to that one record that he's always listening to.
That gets
eating
stuck
his
on the
dinner.
word time as he reads the time machine in his time machine.
That is true. They do hammer in the time element a bit too heavily. But like, I will say, I do have a bias because I've said this before. I've seen the McGann TARDIS in real life, and it is beautiful.
Well, I assume it would be.
I did break a lever off of it. Don't tell Paul McGann, please.
Did you keep it?
No, but I
What?
just sort of awkwardly put it back and hope no one would notice that I broke it. But yeah, no, like the movie one is. I honestly think like it's obvious that it's like the most expensive one, in the sense that like it feels. I don't know. It just feels expensive. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it just.
I guess.
I think it feels like something. We were talking about how it feels like a time machine. It feels like something someone from like Edwardian England would think a time machine was, or at least like, if they tried to make a time machine, that's what it would look like.
Which is very much a vibe for Doctor Who.
And I love that. Yeah, no, completely. I love that idea.
What
Um,
what I don't like about the TV movie TARDIS is that it represents the first major departure from what was essentially the quintessential look in the classic series. Because
yeah,
I do feel that it could have they could have kept the design if it weren't for the TV movie TARDIS, there would have absolutely been the potential that they'd always just kept a design that, you know, while we had subtle changes made to it to update it for the time period, was always essentially the same look. And I do feel that, you know, it would be nice to be able to look back through every Doctor's run and see the same familiar space that's continuous through all of them.
I equally feel like there's a certain level of anticipation you get when you're like, "What's this TARDIS gonna look like?" You know,
True,
that you
but
wouldn't get
like,
if it was just like marginally different each time.
I don't know. I don't. I feel like that's a trade-off, and personally, I would prefer it if it just stayed relatively the same.
I see that. I quite like the variety, because I think as well it means that like if ever you, because like if ever you've played any like Doctor Who like games or mods or anything, you can basically make the TARDIS whatever you want, and
Yeah.
I do kind of like that aspect. Um,
If I had omniscient powers and all, if I had all power, one of the things that I would do eventually would be take the Capaldi TARDIS and send it back in time to the 1960s and just say, "Here's your set. Use it forever, please."
yeah, no, that TARDIS is beautiful.
And
It is really
I'm
good.
imagining how gorgeous it would look shot on 1960s TV equipment.
Oh, it probably would look good. Yeah.
They'd
Oh my
probably
god,
have
yeah.
to light it differently, but it would look gorgeous.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, with the movie one, it did also introduce the ceiling high time rotor, which I quite like personally.
I like that.
You know, I know some people prefer the little uppity downty of classic Who. That's what I'm calling it. Um, yeah, but like I do like that as well. But I do like the sky high time rotor. I think there's just it almost like when it reaches the ceiling, it almost feels like the thing that powers the ship. And I quite like that. It
Yeah.
feels like the heart of it, even though it's not, and the actual heart of the TARDIS, I guess, is the Eye of Harmony. Even though that was retcon because the Eye of Harmony was on Gallifrey originally, but we don't talk about it. But it's just I like the ceiling high time rotor. Should we talk about least favorites or
I was about to ask, what is your least favorite?
in the theme of this like this bunch of videos, 13s.
I forgot
Uh,
about that one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change my answer from.
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the Time Monster one that like
Oh,
Pertwee has for like a little while.
is that the one that's got like vacuum bits on it?
I think
Like
so.
the one that looks a bit like a vacuum, like with all the different like the roundels look like vacuum things. I
Yeah,
think.
the one where the round bits on the wall are a bit weird.
Yeah, I know the one you're on about. Yeah, that's fair. Although actually, the secondary I don't like because it's very cramped and there's
The
like
wooden one.
12 buttons. Yeah. The fourth Doctor's
I'm
wooden
gonna
one.
have to kick you off for wrong opinions, I'm afraid.
Oh, sorry. Wait, do you like that one then?
Yeah, I do wish it was a little bigger, and that the console maybe was a bit bigger as well.
I just think the buttons are so uninteresting. It's just like a
Yeah,
massive.
but I think just make it a little larger and replace the console, and you've got like the most gorgeous set that's ever been used for the TARDIS.
Perhaps. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the thing is, I feel like you can have the best console room, as in the room in the world, but if the console looks shit, I
Yeah,
feel like that's going to really detract from it for me because that's the main thing you're going to be looking at realistically when you look at the TARDIS is that main console center, and if that looks bad, it's going to completely tank the rest of your design. But talking about 13s, it basically takes all of the things, all of the issues with 10's TARDIS, and like
turns them into its own
amplifies them,
design.
and it like amplifies them by like 10, and like learns all the wrong lessons from that TARDIS essentially. Um, it's apparently really difficult to shop because of how many pillars they put in it, um, which just seems like a major oversight. The gross crystal in the middle that like pulsates up and down. It looks really weird. I don't like it. I don't like how the pillars move with it. I get what they're trying to do with an organic thing. I don't like it though. It looks
Yeah.
weird and wrong.
That's my sort of takeaway with that as well. Like I see what you were trying to do. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it. And then it's like, also, you can never make out what any of the buttons are on 13's TARDIS. Like, beyond the main pulley lever they use to, like, dematerialize, I don't know what any of the other buttons do.
And it would
Like,
also be nice to see it lit well one day.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's so... In Series 11, you can barely see anything. And in Series 12, they go, like, more color. That'll fix it. It's like...
Yeah, it's like the entire lighting is blue and everything, or yellow everywhere, and it's like the brightest lighting, the brightest, most saturated lighting you could imagine for the whole set.
Yeah, the way I described it when I started making videos was, imagine if... imagine, like, piss-colored kryptonite. That's what it felt like to me when I first saw it. That's what it was like. It, you know... but it also like weirdly gave me like Top Gear vibes with like the weird tire type things it's got as like the roundels. I don't.
It's got this sort of it's got this. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's quite over designed. I think it sort of looks like a game show set.
Yeah, it doesn't help that like. It came directly after, as we've said, like one of the best ones they've ever had. And you go from that to this, and it's like this is a downgrade in every single way.
There's also nowhere to sit in it. I feel like
that's the thing. I always used to joke when Series 11 especially was airing. Do they all just sleep on the floor? Because there's no doors to anywhere. Like I know that there wasn't on the Tenant either, but you know the show had just been revived. I assumed that it was a budget thing. But no, with 13s, there isn't either. To be fair, they added it in Series 12. But then that just begs the question, where did they go during Series 11? Like, did they just... I always like to imagine just Graham sleeping on the floor, which is why he always is tired and has bad back, because that's what the Doctor makes him do.
That's because he's old.
Yeah, but old and forced to sleep on the ground.
They've got... No, I just don't like the set theories.
No, I know that's fair enough, but I also think like it doesn't have enough scale to it. Like I can't see anyone living in it. There's nothing. Yeah, as you said, there's no seats. There's no nothing. They all stand awkwardly in a row together.
It does
feel happens all the time.
Feels too alien to me. It doesn't feel like because you know the Doctor is alien who likes Earth, so has got like this sort of alien room that they've brought loads of Earth stuff into. And like, I feel like even if you brought loads of Earth stuff into that room, while it would help, and you had like nice chairs in it and stuff, the lighting and like the decor of the room on its own would still make it feel just too uninhabitable. Like I wouldn't ever want to live in a living room that had bright blue light, like flooding it.
It always looks really unnatural when they're all just sat around in it. Because I remember thinking this in Can You Hear Me when I think it's Yaz is talking to Ryan or the other way around about like. Oh yeah, no. Ryan's like, "Is this our lives?" Because that was their one attempt to like, you know, establish the idea that Ryan wants to leave. But like Yaz is like sat up against the pillar, and I'm like, that looks like the most uncomfortable thing in history. No one would sit like that.
They would if there were no other chairs in the building.
I guess,
essentially.
But like that looks horrible. Like you wouldn't be able to stay there long term. It would be severely painful. Yeah, it's just it's shit, isn't it? Like that, it is just it doesn't reflect the Doctor either at all. Like the thing is with TARDIS interiors, the last thing I'll say is that they're meant to reflect the Doctor that they inhabit, I guess. And this one just doesn't on any level at all. But then you could argue like, what would it have to reflect?
It reflects the brand of like put yellow, which is genuinely what it is. It reflects like they put yellow everywhere for a year, and it was like, look, Doctor Who is yellow now, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like how with them. I think they thought, okay, well, the main color of like the RTD, I guess, was like red and blue. Was like the main. So because you had like this, I guess, because like the Sonic was blue.
The TARDIS was green lit.
I mean, but wasn't it like sometimes lit blue? Or was that just something that was retroactively added in for like the 50th?
It was only lit blue in the 50th. I thought that the 50th, in the 50th trailers, I saw that TARDIS lit blue, and I thought, oh, this must be Paul McGann's TARDIS or the War Doctor's TARDIS.
It's just them, but they didn't remember what they lit it
They
as.
forgot the color.
Yeah. Although, interestingly, when you look at it in the Doctor Who experience before it shut down, the colors alternate between green and blue, which is quite cool. They incorporate both, which I think is quite nice. But yeah, 13 TARDIS shit. End of video.